All right. Y'all ready for this?
Hold on. There we go.
Sweet.
Welcome
Let's
back.
go talk to Sisyphus.
And play breaking and entering.
Breaking and entering and
really
exiting
popcorn.
hell.
Yeah. So here's... I know I've talked to you a tiny... I'm gonna put my popcorn away.
Yeah, you've had enough.
Oh, that's
Oh, rookie mistake.
fine. All over the bed.
Nice.
It's okay. So I've talked to you a tiny bit about this, but I found out that there is a show called Lost Tapes.
Oh,
That
yeah.
I recently found. You can watch it on a video sharing website. I won't name it because I don't want it to get taken down. But there's a video sharing website that you might be aware of that you can watch Lost Tapes on.
Here you go.
Now, Lost Tapes,
Thank you.
only a few.
Oh, good.
Sorry, I'm just cleaning up the popcorn that I spilled everywhere. Lost Tapes was a show that came out in like
Ooh, what do I want?
2007 or 8. And you know this, but I'm just saying it for the benefit
Yeah,
of our
I
friends.
understand.
It's a show that kind of explores cryptids and like monster. Oh, sorry, popcorn.
Are you gonna make it?
No, and monsters. It explores monsters. So like an episode will be like, there'll be an episode like Bigfoot, and it'll be like a found footage style episode of like somebody encountering Bigfoot.
See, we're fighting Meg again.
Oh, really?
You're never getting out of here anyway.
And she doesn't want us to leave.
Oh, because she loves you.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie, why are you sniffing at my foot?
Your family is here. And so is your responsibility.
You just throw something at her face.
Yeah. I did the, I did my, I can't think of what it's called, my bloodstone thing.
Yeah. But yes, so Lost Tapes is that. It's a found footage style TV show that is portrayed in a way that it is a real found or a lost tape that was found, and now they're like revealing what happened. And this is why I'm bringing it up. Was that because like now that I'm a 25-year-old and it's like over 10 years old, or 15 years old, it's very obviously not real. I think that was even obvious when it was playing, that it wasn't real. But in my young mind, my impressionable young mind, I was like, but it could be real. What if it's
Yeah,
real?
you're like, it could be though.
Because like, it's so obviously acted and so obviously like they add in sound effects and they never like show the monster fully. It's always just like, oh, a quick little flash of it. And you see like teeth or something.
Okay, check this out
Oh.
really quick. So I hit her once,
Whoa.
160, hit her again, 480,
Oh!
hit her again, 213.
Wow. Nice.
Although I only have 9 hearts left, so I
Careful.
don't think I'm gonna make it to the
Just be
next.
careful. Take your time. But yeah, has there ever been anything where you're like, where it's like, this is probably not real, and like the logical part of my brain is not developed enough to realize that it's not real? You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, where you're just youthful and full of like bliss for life, and you're like, maybe.
Yeah. But it would be like, there was one episode in particular that was vampires, where like this family moves into this like abandoned house.
Oh, that
Nice.
was so close. I didn't know
Nice.
if that was her. Okay, but family, vampires, move
Yes,
into a house.
this family moves into a house, and then like their son is like having quote unquote nightmares.
Okay.
But the son would have nightmares and he would sleepwalk. So the family put up
me
a camera
too.
in his bedroom.
Uh-huh.
And so like there's a clip in it where like the kid's asleep in his bed, and his closet door opens and a little like vampire crawls out and is like gonna try and bite him, but then he wakes up and then the vampire runs away.
Okay.
And that scared me to my core.
That wrecked you?
That like, oh my god. That was the worst fear. And then like the episode goes on, and then there's like they hear things in the walls, which the viewer knows is the vampires.
Okay.
But the family's like, oh, it must be like raccoons or something. So they call in an exterminator, and he goes into the basement and he like puts in one of those fish eye cams or like the little arm
cameras, yeah.
And it like pans up and it's like looking at this like pile of trash or something, and then it pans up and there's something that like kind of looks at a face and you see eyes open, and it like attacks the camera, busts through the wall and kills the exterminator.
Oh my gosh.
And that was like, gosh, this was 2009, so I was 14, and I was like, I'm scared of vampires.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm scared of vampires.
Vampires are a real threat. They are a real threat, though.
But I was like still young enough to where it was like, I don't know if this is real or not. I can't tell. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
and it was the found footage-esque.
Yeah.
Like that, I'm sure didn't do any favors for your little child
and it's like
brain.
the Discovery Channel doesn't lie. That's where you learn about animals and stuff. But yeah.
Oh, now I feel really bad. I skipped past what he was saying, and he just went, you get the gist. No. I skipped past it. And usually if you skip past what they say, they don't say anything. But Hermes is like, oh, okay. Yeah, you made me feel bad. I forgot I got the urns.
I watched all of season 1, all of season 2, and I'm working on season 3 right now.
How much is, like, how long are they? That's what I meant to ask.
The episodes themselves are like 20-30 minutes.
Okay.
And there's like, I don't know, a dozen per season.
Oh, okay.
So they're pretty easy to watch. And I just had them on in the background.
Some pretty good progress through them, eh?
Like I finished, like when I say I've been watching, I watched season 2 on 2 days from today, or 2 days before today, and season 1 the day before that. Just while I was at work.
All right.
And then season 3 I was watching some other stuff, and I watched a little bit of season 3, but maybe I'll finish that tonight. I don't know. But yeah, I'm super into it, even though it's like very it's low budget in 2008 terms, which is to say it's really not well put together compared to what I've seen today, compared to things that you would see today. But that adds to the charm to it.
Yeah.
Like the first episode is the chupacabra.
Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing.
There's literally at one point that you see the chupacabra, and it's this takes place in the border of Mexico and America, and the family's like trying to come over to America illegally.
Okay.
That's like the gist. And they get kind of abandoned, so they have to go on foot. And then the one time you see the chupacabra is the border patrol is looking at the family through a thermal lens or a thermal camera, and you literally just see a dog chasing after the family. But it's also like a CG dog, so it runs in a really weird gait.
Yeah, so it's like really messed up.
Like it's not that it's a chupacabra, so it runs different from a dog. It's literally somebody tried to CG a dog, and it just wasn't made very well, so it runs weird. And you can tell, and it jumps onto one of the.
Ooh, I'm gonna die.
Oh, careful! Oh.
Right as I said it.
I'm gonna.
Damage resistance 24%.
Whoa! So you get damage resistance every single time you die? Wow.
2% every time. Every time we die, up to 80%.
So you dive 12 times?
No, it starts at 20.
Oh. So you only died twice.
Yeah, so far.
Nice.
Hey, I know you.
But yeah, so then it's like a bad video game animation where like a dog attacks a character. But yeah. And then the rest of it is just like, you hear in like it's supposed to be like in the distance, but it's like it would make sense if they heard like the cops. I'm sorry, I'm just feeling this so bad.
No.
I'm so excited about it. I just want to tell you everything.
Just tell it. Tell us everything.
So the cops go down, and the border patrol are like, okay, we got to go find these people that are trying to come over illegally. And then they find the mom and the dad dead. And what would have made sense is they heard like howling or growling in the distance, but the guy's like up next to a bush. And
Okay.
he hears "Rawr, rawr, rawr," like the chupacabra is right there, like it didn't just maul two people, and
Yeah.
like it would hesitate to attack another
Yeah.
person. And he's like, "Oh, scary! I'll back away from this bush that has something directly in front of me in it." And then
Which makes perfect sense.
and then they find the little girl who's alive, which is always, they're very like,
Thank you.
how do I describe
New
it?
talents available.
New talents.
You've
Wow.
done so.
But they're very like weird structurally sometimes too. Like there's one where the Kraken. Okay, the Kraken is in season 3.
What's this stuff?
I'm intrigued.
So it's like a vessel where they are looking for the wreckage of a ship that has gold in it,
Okay.
and there's 3 people on it. And so like the whole thing happens, like the Kraken steals somebody and pulls them away, and they try to go help and find that's usually how it goes. It's a group of people, somebody gets stolen, and then the whole group is like, well, we gotta go find them. We gotta go get
Yeah,
them.
in true like stupid fashion.
Where it's like obvious that like something supernatural is like took and killed them, and it's not like, oh, they're just hiding from us.
Yeah. You're just
oh,
like,
we
okay.
gotta go get them. So they like go and try and find the person, and then somebody else gets taken, and then it'll like skip, and it'll be like, or the next person will be taken, and he'll be like, oh no, he's gone, and then it'll skip and be like, the guy was found on a little river raft out in the middle of the ocean with a lot of sucker wounds on his body. It would like skip an entire sequence that could have been a part of the show, just be like, he was found later, traumatized and in shock.
Well, because they didn't have the budget to go do anything extra, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
see?
yeah, there's a runtime and stuff, but it was still just like, what? It's so out of left field, or it's so like sudden that it's a little jarring.
You can just tell it's one of those early 2000s time filler
Yep.
shows.
Yes, exactly. Oh, my favorite one is it's Swamp Monster.
Okay.
Where so there's a lady who's a doctor, and she's like a biologist, and they're in the bayou,
Okay.
and she has her nephew along who is like just like her helper. Like he's not a student, he's just along to help his aunt. And so it begins with, oh, we're gonna she's I think she's researching alligators.
Okay.
So she sets up a camera, and she's like, oh, I want to test it. So the nephew gets down, or puts his backpack down in front of the camera and goes off to the side, and then she's like, aha, have some fun with it, pretend to be an alligator. So he gets down, and he's crawling around like an alligator, and he's like, raw. And then they have like a trained alligator come in, and he's like, you would have thought that he had just found a mauled dead body by his reaction.
Oh my god. Well,
Like, yes, an alligator would be scared. You like, oh god, but he's like, oh my god, and he's like flipping around
you don't
and
think you
throwing
would
leaves
scream
in the
like
air
that
and
if an
dirt.
alligator
But here's the
posted
thing,
up on
it
you?
was just sitting there,
Yeah, I still probably would freak out like that. It's an apex
and it like
predator.
walks calmly up to his backpack.
Yeah, but that's what's scary about it is that
No. But listen, it walks up to his backpack, which is in the center of the frame, and the lady is sitting like right next to it. It walks up to the backpack, it touches its nose to the backpack, and then it pans away, and it's like, well, your backpack is gone. And then it cuts back, and the alligator is off the frame literally 2 seconds later, and the backpack is gone too. Like, she literally, based on the footage, could have just like scooped up the backpack, and then the alligator would have left. Also, why would the alligator just steal a backpack with like...
Yeah, why would the alligator steal it?
And you might say like, oh, it had food in it. But no, he's like, that had the map, that had a compass, that had my video camera, that had my cell phone. It's like, okay, so you didn't have anything that that the gator that barely even put in an effort to actually take it took. Okay.
And now we're gonna assume that this is like a scary critter.
Yeah. But then, like, they're walking around, and they always have commentary from quote-unquote experts, where it's like cryptozoology experts.
Yep.
It's not like a bio. There's
it's
like
never
one or two people where it's
an
like,
actual biologist.
yes.
It's always like
there's like one or two that pop up like every other episode, but there's always like one guy who's like definitely way into Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Who's like, yeah, so Bigfoot is commonly known as Sasquatch. Did you know this? This is a new thing.
This is
He's
a
like
new thing.
speaking down to you about things that everybody knows about Bigfoot. Traditionally, he's hairy.
So they don't, or they'll
Big
call him
feet.
like a foot. They'll call him a foot. They'll be like the
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
And what was I gonna say? There was another really funny part. Oh, so there's a part where they're in the bayou and it's basically Bigfoot, but it's like swamp Bigfoot.
Okay.
And so this
I want
There's
to
one
go
part-
see Sisyphus, but I want to see chaos, but I want to see Sisyphus, but I want to see chaos.
yeah, pick. Oh, you're gonna lose health if you go in there?
Yeah.
Shouldn't do that.
Yeah, but I get a cool thing. I'm gonna go see Sisyphus. I'd really like to make it through as Fidel.
But yeah, so you sorry, I lost my spot.
So you were okay. So the swamp Bigfoot.
Yeah, Swamp Bigfoot. Okay, so there's a really small part that I thought was very funny. It was very stupid. They're like walking along and they come across this guy called Bud Ray. Because
King.
they stole it, the gator stole all of their equipment, so they couldn't get out, so they had to go wander
Right.
around and find help. So they find Bud Ray, who has like a camp on the side of the river, who like lives in the swamp. He's like, oh, I don't go out at night, but he has like an outdoor setup, like he has a tent.
Yeah.
I don't go outside at night. Something gonna come in and get me.
And it's like, okay, you're being protected by
Yeah.
the tent.
For one. Two is the biologist or like the experts always conveniently have a way to explain the story, where it's like it's always out of place, where it's like, oh, animals that lay eggs are typically very protective of their nests. If you would try to attack or break their eggs, they're gonna get aggressive. Mm-hmm. And then the guy or the nephew is like just like randomly walking through the bush. He's like the aunt and the Bud Ray are just like talking. He's walking and he randomly steps into a thing of eggs, and it's literally chicken eggs. Like you can see that it's a chicken egg, and it's like, oh, what is that? What is that?
Yeah. And he's like,
And he's covered in eggs, and then like they get attacked that night, and he walks past a tree. And the same situation with the bush, where it's like he hears like growling and stuff, but it's a bush 5 feet away from him, and it's the only thing that can be covering whatever is growling at him. And it's
so
like,
you're like,
I don't think that's how that works. I feel like you can see it very easily. And then he walks past it, and there's literally Nickelodeon slime in the tree. And he's like,
Of
"What is
course.
that? Oh, is that is this from the monster? I don't know."
yeah, it's just the like,
I'm not describing it very well. If you haven't seen
No, but
Lost tapes, you should go
it's a
watch
good.
them.
It seems like it's got some good Ghost Adventures
Yes,
vibes.
exactly.
Cyclops jerky, heck yeah.
And I love the show because it's just so out there and weird and fun.
It seems like one of those things that I could appreciate at least for a few episodes. I don't know that I would necessarily get the long-term enjoyment out of it, but it definitely is. Yeah, it definitely seems like one of those things like you could just enjoy it. Like it's just a fun thing, and it's fun to watch like all this like really bad acting and really dedicated like. No, it's found footage, guys. We swear.
And there are a lot of actors who are really trying.
Yeah, they're really doing their best. They're giving it their all.
It's just way too much. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about Lost Tapes. I'm very into it right now.
Well, we can make our own Lost tape next time.
Next time. One last question we need to ask ourselves is, do they live among us?
Do they live among us?
That's what they ask at the end of every episode. Do they live among us?